Welcome back to my dear student of class 8. So this is Samarpan sir again in front of you with the first chapter, the best Christmas present in the world, and this is the last part of this chapter. We already did two parts, so this one is last for you, and today I'm going to complete this chapter. So listen the explanation carefully. In this part, today I am just going to read the paragraph first and I will try to explain you in brief. So if you have book, take it out. If you don't have, look at the mobile screen. I am showing you the PDF file of this chapter itself in this video. So let's get started. Okay, here in the part 2, narrator finished reading the letter, which is written by Jim McPherson to his beloved wife Connie. And after reading the letter, what will he do? Let us see in this part. Okay. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning, I knew what I had to do. I dropped into Bridgeport, just a few miles away. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Bridges was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burnt out cell, the roof gaping, the windows boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of Mrs. McPherson. Oh, yes, said the old man in his slipper. He knew her well. A lovely old lady, he told me. A bit muddle-headed. Muddle-headed? Underline the word muddle-headed. Muddle-headed means confused. But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. Okay, look at the sentence carefully. Now, the Mrs. McPherson was 101 years old. She became an old lady. She had been in the house when it caught fire. No one really knew how the fire had started, but it could well have been candles. She used candles rather than electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in a nursing home now, he told me. Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of town. Okay, so in this paragraph, now the narrator finished reading that letter. He folded the letter and slipped it back carefully into its envelope. And he could not sleep that night. He woke up early in the morning and he went to the Bridgeport, to that particular address, whatever written in this letter. So he asked someone there about the address of Mrs. McPherson. When he reached there, he saw nothing but a house which was damaged by fire. He did not know what to do next. He became confused. He did not know what to do next, and he just inquired about Connie. He went to the Connie's neighbor. And he asked what had happened to Connie. And after that neighbor told narrator that Connie was such a fine lady, but lately she has become a muddle-headed. Means she has become a confused type of lady. Are you getting my point? Means Mrs. McPherson's neighbor told narrator that Connie was a fine lady. He was a lovely lady, but lately she has become a muddle-headed lady. So what happened one night, her house caught fire, and it might have caught by candle. Connie used to light candle because she did not use electricity. According to Connie, electricity was very expensive. So maybe because of the candle, the house must have caught fire, and because of that fire everything got damaged and burnt, and she was then shifted to the nursing home. Okay, when the house caught fire, she was inside the home, and the firemen had got him out just in time, and she was admitted in the nursing home. So Mrs. Macpherson treatment was going on in the nursing home, and in that nursing home is far away from that particular address. That nursing home was just far away from that particular address. So a narrator just decided to go to the nursing home to meet Connie. He decided to go to nursing home to meet Connie, and that nursing home was situated in the Burlington House on the Dorchester Road. It was on the another side of the town. So she was there in the nursing home for her treatment. Okay. So the next para. Okay, here is a comprehension check. Do it by yourself. Why did Arthur go to Bridport? Question number 2. How old was Mrs. Macpherson now? Where was she? It's very simple question, and you can answer it by yourself and send me through WhatsApp. I will check it there. Okay, next paragraph. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There was a paper chain up in the hallway, and a lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angle on top. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. I could not see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. The Martin had a hat on too and seems happy enough to see me. She even offered me a magpie. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is now not in with the others, she told me. She rather confused today, so we thought it was best if she had a good rest. She has no family, no one visits. So I'm sure she will be only too pleased to see you. She took me into the conservatory with wicker chain and potted plants all around and left me. Okay, so now what happened? So when he went to the nursing home, he saw the nursing home was decorated due to the Christmas festival. He searched Connie there, and a nurse held a narrator to go to the Connie's room. And while going towards the room or on the way, that nurse told him that Connie was not feeling good nowadays. Connie was not feeling good nowadays. She rather confused. Okay, she rather confused, and she thought it was. They thought it was best to give him some rest. Okay, so what happened? That nurse told Connie. That nurse told the narrator Connie was a confused type of lady. She was not feeling good on that particular Christmas day. So they kept her in a room to let her rest. The old lady was sitting in a chair, her hands folded in her laps. She had silver right hair pinned into a wispy bun. She was gazing out at the garden. "Hello," I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. "Happy Christmas, Connie," I went on. "I found this. I think it's yours." As I was speaking, her eyes never felt my face. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with the recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. I explained about the text, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. For a while, she said nothing but struck the letter tenderly with her fingertip. Suddenly, she reached out and took my hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. "You told me you had come home by Christmas, dearest," she said. "And here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim." Dear, sit down. I sat down behind her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letters so often, Jim, every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. I always made me feel it always made me feel you were with me. And now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? I just want to hear your voice again. I had loved that so much. And then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan, all around. I know how much you love marzipan. Okay, so now what happened? When the narrator went inside the Connie's room or inside that nursing home, that Connie's room, there he saw an old lady sitting in a wheelchair. As you can see in this picture also, old lady who is sitting in a wheelchair, and and he had folded her hand in her lap. So her hair were gray in color, and all hair were pinned up in a bun. Okay, so she was looking at the garden. She was looking at the garden and she was looking sad and unhappy. As you can look at the figure, the old lady is sitting in a wheelchair. That one is none other than Mrs. Macpherson, waiting for his husband Jim Macpherson. Okay, probably she is waiting for her husband. Okay, so narrator went to her and wished her a happy Christmas and gave her a letter. Narrator started to explain how he found that letter and how he reached her. After seeing that letter, Connie was so confused that she was not actually listening to the narrator. She was lost in you can say she was lost in some other world. Maybe she was thinking about her husband Jim Macpherson. So she was lost in other world. So she mistook narrator as Jim Macpherson. Connie mistook narrator as a Jim Macpherson, as her husband. So he thought the person sitting, or she thought the person sitting in front of her was her husband, Jim Macpherson. She was not listening to his words. And at the end of the story, she uttered some touching word. She uttered some such touching word. She said, she had read this letter so many times, and now she is feeling happy that Jim has back and kept his promise. She always said how much Jim liked marzipan and Christmas cake that she used to make for him. She requests narrator to read the letter again and she wanted to hear his voice, or she wanted to hear the voice of Jim Macpherson. So what happened? Connie mistook narrator as a Jim Macpherson, so he wanted narrator to read the letter and she wanted to hear his husband's voice. Okay, so narrator did not able to tell her the truth. So he just kept sitting there, and she was and see what happened. Narrator just sitting there and saw how love affect the person. Okay, so this is the love of the Connie for her husband. She is waiting for her husband, and she was 101-year-old lady waiting for her husband returning back from the war, and she mistook narrator as her husband. So, and narrator also did not able to tell her the truth that she was not a husband. Okay, narrator just kept sitting there and listening to her. So this last part of the story really justify the title, the best Christmas present in the world, because the best present in the world you can ever give anyone in the world is happiness. So that present of Jim Macpherson in the war was also a best Christmas present, because in between war they are making peace, they were making peace, and here Connie, 101 years old lady, also get a happiness, and that is the best Christmas present in the world. Okay, so the best Christmas present in the world, uh, or a present if you want to give anyone in the world, is the happiness, and the happiness is the best present for one and all present in the world. Okay, so this is the story of Jim Macpherson and Connie, the love and the relation between the Jim and the Connie. Okay, so we completed the chapter here, and it was written by Michael Morpurgo. Here is again the comprehension check for you. Who did Connie Macpherson think her visitor was? Which sentence in the text shows that the visitor did not try to hide his identity? So, go through the chapter and try to find out the questions and answers or the comprehension check, and send to me through WhatsApp. I will check you out there, or you can make me call also. So I will help you there. Okay. So we completed the first chapter here. I hope you understood the chapter well. If any confusion, you can contact me and ask me your problem. I will solve your problem. Thank you very much. Stay home, stay safe. Bye bye.